Most of the women settled into whatever meager comfort they could find for themselves. Not us, though. We scooted over to the corner of the cell, where we'd been hard at work. It was Mira who first noticed that the cell wasn't really a cell. It was just an empty space that Un had left when building the station, which seemed to serve no purpose. The Awani had simply erected the bars of the cage around the shape of the room. But the room did have a purpose. Its shape was due to the air ventilation cyclers running underneath it. With a ton of effort and a thin scrap of metal we'd found, we'd managed to pry a section of the floor paneling loose. We'd taken turns exploring the ventilation shaft below. It ran about 30 feet in either direction. Unfortunately, it did not lead to freedom. But it did lead to a laboratory with a computer networked into the station's comm systems. If we could reach that computer terminal, we might be able to call for help. And if we were very, very lucky, we might be able to escape through the lab and find a way back to the upper decks. Working carefully, I lifted the panel out of the way. I dipped my legs into the duct first, moving slowly so I wouldn't make any loud banging noises. Mira came next, slipping into the duct beside me. The cramped duct did not give enough room for us to walk or even to rise into a comfortable sitting position. Even crawling proved difficult, but we had planned for this, too, wrapping our hands in strips of fabric we'd torn from our clothing and then just sliding along. "Did I ever tell you I'm claustrophobic?" I whispered. "Only every time we come in here. Well, this will be the last time. Tell me it's going to be the last time, Mira. It's going to be the last time." We grew silent as we spotted a yellow rectangle of illumination coming in through the ceiling of the ventilation shaft. That was the grate that opened up into the laboratory. When we scooted up underneath the grate, I felt my heart sink. There was someone working late up there. One of the rat-like Awani in a tattered lab coat, muttering to himself and messing with something on the table I could not see. Damn it. I had hoped it would be empty. All the other times we had come by the lab, it had been deserted. I exchanged glances with Mira. She met my hard gaze and nodded firmly. There was no going back. We would make our play now, do or die. Carefully, I pushed up on the grate. Since we had removed all the screws the night before, an arduous process which had taken most of the evening, the grate came up easily. I went up first, then gave Mira a hand. The Awani sat in front of a glass case holding what looked like a fat, furry pink and orange Terran caterpillar with a lot of extra mouth parts. I couldn't tell what the hell the technician's purpose was. I swear, he inflicted misery on the damn thing because it got him off. His lips peeled back into a gleeful grin as he pushed a button on the case, and a jolt of electricity surged through the box, causing the caterpillar thing to jump with agony. It looked more like torture than science. And yet, the Awani took a moment to record his apparent findings. I wondered what to do about the Awani. Then Mira walked up behind him with a chair and bashed him over the head. The Awani fell to the floor, twitching with blood pooling from his skull. "Mira, what are you doing? You just killed him, I think." "I was only trying to knock him out. With a 40-pound metal chair?" I got a hold of myself and grimaced. Pity for our captors wasn't really on my list of things to worry about today. We need to get a message out quick. That computer terminal looks a lot like the one I used at the Pulsar Club. Let me take a crack at it. "Knock yourself out," I said. "I'll keep watch." Only my gaze was drawn inexorably toward the creature in the glass cage. It wrinkled its little body and came up to the glass, then put a pair of ball-tipped antennae against the case and tapped them in what seemed like a deliberate pattern. 2 taps, 1 short tap. I think